because,
I just can't live there. The road's so dirty.
well, wasn't that a contingency to keep things wet?
Well, you think,
Winter.
yeah, for the dust.
I
But
think
even
that was
that-
brought up.
Even that rural fire permit, I don't think allows them to blow all that stuff in the air, but
I need to go
we were getting
and
covered
pull
with
up.
dust.
Oh, yeah, at least it's not warm and you have windows open.
Yeah, that's true.
That's why I have this long yards, cause that
I need to go through all those notes and see
the worst case
what
scenario, let's say it's old clay and
things
broken.
that they do. I just
Then
feel
we
like
may have
after
to
we
take a
make
new
decisions, it
drain pipe from
should
tile
be like a
to inlet
checklist of, okay,
and cut it right down the middle
things they
of
agree
your
to,
property
so
and
then,
match itself so
Follow
everybody's got.
up.
that's right, I just
Yeah.
feel like we just haven't closed that,
We'll
that
have to
loop yet.
have something
I mean,
to
we're
get the surface
getting
water
more things in
into
place.
that. But those yards are so deep.
I'm glad I missed that.
Absorbs before it gets
Driving me
anywhere.
crazy. I'm just trying to get,
Okay, I didn't know this
consistent
was happening.
internet service.
I'm using T-Mobile, I guess, pretty good.
I've called twice.
It was plain fill, right?
In the last week,
So,
my husband
yeah,
had called.
there's a few places.
Yeah.
Because I,
Those wire feeders in.
and honestly,
To go down and clean out and stuff.
17 years ago it was great,
I think.
but the last several years it's been
James,
horrible.
can you hear us?
James can hear you, yes.
There has to be, because that's like the intermittent outages. When my house has it, but my neighbors don't, or vice versa, when it's like that, that's not for feeling.
Can you hear James?
It's been stopped by
There you
lightning.
go. All right.
We had the tornadoes, we had other stuff.
Yes, we can hear you. Yes, thank you.
We'll see what they do.
Nothing.
Or not, because they're not regulated. There's no smoke.
Not enough people to make it worth their while.
That many people come.
Shanna's now on.
Oh, wonderful.
And James. I don't know if Jamila will be joining virtually.
Okay.
She accepted, but
Okay, yeah, we'll
I
give
don't
it a
see
minute
her
here, I
yet,
guess.
but.
Do you have to let everyone in individually on that?
Sometimes they'll join as an attendee and not that panelist link.
Oh.
I don't see her yet.
Okay.
Everyone's,
So we just have James virtually then?
yes, so far, yeah. Oh, I just saw Jamila. Jamila, can you hear us?
Did you say?
Yes, yes. Look, I'm right on time.
Wonderful.
All right, well, I guess it's 7 o'clock, so we'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. This is the January 18th, 2022 Pendleton Board of Zoning Appeals. And first order of business is roll call, so we'll just start to my left.
Jenny Sisson,
Kyle Eichhorn,
Jerry Burmeister.
all right, and then virtually,
Jimmy
Yes.
Lazafart.
James King's here.
all right, so we do have a quorum. Do we need to swear in the new
Yes.
member, Jerry? Okay,
Yes, Jerry.
that's, I guess we'll go ahead and do that now.
First, okay. So Shanna, we have someone, we need you to swear in.
Is there anyone that's a notary? Because I am not. I
I'm
didn't know
a-
this was on.
I am a notary.
Okay, yeah, that would work. Do you still have the one from last time, Hannah or Denise?
I have the form here. Can-
Okay,
Is it on the G drive so she can access it and read it back?
Oh my gosh, the G drive.
We can go scan it and throw it on there real quick.
Can they?
Problem is, I've never really been good at finding things on that G drive. Can you email it to me?
Yes.
Okay.
Denise is gonna go scan that, oath for you to read, and she'll email it to your town email.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so just give her a minute.
Like when I log into Office 365, then I see all these documents. Is that where the G drive would be?
It should just, Office 365, I don't think is Google. Yeah.
No, that's not.
Uh,
Well, you can just send me via email.
yeah, she'll just send it to your town email if that's okay.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, cool.
In the meantime, go ahead and review the minutes, and there's enough of us here, we can entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
Okay.
After that, you guys also need to do your election of new officers.
Does Jerry need to be sworn in first before we do that?
Yeah, let's just go ahead and do that, and then we can just
Okay.
get it all out of the way. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, Shanna. Virtual attorney.
I guess, do you wanna wait until we have the new officers?
For approval of minutes,
Yeah,
might as well. So then it's in order.
yeah, that's fine, we'll just wait for.
I mean, it takes some.
Okay.
That just gives everyone reading time. I read them already when I got
They're
the
riveting
email.
minutes about the garage.
Yeah, I read them.
It hasn't changed yet.
Oh, they haven't knocked it down yet?
Not the other day, 2 or 3 days ago, it was
Oh.
still there.
But it's
She-
through the school.
Oh, they
Right.
might want to do it themselves, like to take it
Oh,
down.
to take it down.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
Because she got her permitting for building and demoing, so, and that was, I think, before the New Year's, so.
But
It's good for 18 months though, right?
Yeah, it's good for quite a while.
since it's in conjunction with the school, it might be delayed.
Yeah, could be, and it's really cold out. Jamila, do you see it?
Well,
The email?
yes, I just got it. Oh, attached above. Oh, here it is. Okay. Very interesting. Okay.
Is it opening for you?
Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Okay, and let's see. What is the name of the person?
Jerry Burmeister?
Jerry Burmeister. Okay. All right, Jerry, would you repeat after me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I, Jerry Burmeister,
I, Jerry Burmeister,
do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Indiana,
the Constitution of the State of Indiana,
as well as the ordinances of Madison County,
repeat that,
as well as the ordinances of Madison County,
as well as the ordinances of Madison County,
and the town of Pendleton, Indiana,
in the town of Pendleton, Indiana,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially, and diligently
impartially, and diligently
discharge the duties of the Economic Development Committee. Oh, I'm sorry.
discharge the duties of the Economic Committee,
Please strike that. Duties of the Board of Zoning Appeals
duties of the Board of Zoning Appeals
of the town of Pendleton,
for the town of Pendleton,
according to law
according to law
and the best of my ability.
and to the best of my ability.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jamila.
All right, we'll proceed to election of officers. We have chair and vice chair.
And
Yeah.
secretary, sorry.
Okay. All right, I'll entertain a motion for chair.
I nominate Kyle.
Okay, we have a nomination. Do we have a second?
I second.
All right, any other nominations?
I would like to nominate,
Oh, for chair.
oh, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I would like to nominate Ms. Sisson for vice chair.
Well, we have to vote on chair first. I was
Oh, I'm so
opening.
sorry. I thought
You're
you
fine.
said.
I was opening. Yeah. So
I got
if there are no other nominations for chair, do we just do a roll call? Is that
Shannon.
fine?
Yeah, that would be good. Yep,
Okay.
roll call. Thank you.
Do you want me to do that?
Sure.
Okay. James King,
Aye.
Jenny Sisson,
Aye.
Kyle Eichhorn,
Aye.
Jamila Zafar,
Aye.
Jerry Burmeister.
Aye.
All right. All right. We'll move on to nominations for vice chair.
Okay, I would like to make a nomination. I nominate Ms. Jenny Sisson for vice chair.
All right. I'll second that. Any other nominations for vice chair? Hearing none, we'll do a roll call vote for Jenny.
James King,
James votes aye.
Jenny Sisson,
Aye.
Kyle Eichhorn,
Aye.
Jamila Zafar,
Aye.
Jerry Burmeister.
Aye.
All right. Vice chair. Secretary. Who's secretary now?
It does not have to be a member of the BZA, so I don't know who it is now, but just does.
Do we have any any nominations for secretary?
Do we know who it is, Denise?
I nominate Jamila.
All right. I will second that. Any other nominations for secretary?
I mean, may I say something?
Yeah.
You know, what exactly are the duties entailed in this? Is it taking the notes?
No, that's with Denise.
It's usually just signing the documents.
Yeah. Like the
Okay.
findings of facts.
So if you're online and aren't here to sign things, if you're able to, the next day come in and sign those,
Or you can e-sign and send.
yeah.
Okay, all right.
Are you okay with that's fine, Jamila? You
Yeah,
accept the
that's
nomination?
fine.
Okay.
I mean, if you're giving that e-signature capability and that if I'm not there, I can come in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Roll call, James King,
Aye.
Jenny Sisson,
Aye.
Kyle Eichhorn,
Aye.
Jamila Zafar,
Aye.
Jerry Burmeister.
Aye.
All right. Officers have been elected for this year. So we'll move on to the approval of minutes. So the previous meeting, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Shanna, do we need to approve our calendar for 2022 before we move on?
Yeah, I was just looking at that. Sorry. Yeah, you just
Okay.
need to ratify that the calendar for 2022 will be the third Tuesday at 7 p.m. at Town Hall.
Do they just do a roll call vote?
Yeah, that would be fine.
Okay. James King,
Aye.
Jenny Sisson,
Aye.
Kyle Eichhorn,
Aye.
Jamila Zafar,
Aye.
Jerry Burmeister.
Aye.
All right. Meeting ratified.
Awesome.
Ready to approve previous minutes now?
I make a motion to approve the previous minutes.
All right. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second.
All right. Second. Do a roll call.
Okay, James King,
Aye.
Jenny Sisson,
Aye.
Kyle Icorn,
Aye.
Jamila Zafar,
Aye.
Jerry Burmeister.
Aye.
Minutes approved. No old business. We're on to new business. V011-82022-01, variance on lot size in RC district and lot width on one lot in proposed SF2 district.
Okay, so this is Kyle Smith's petition via David Gilman. All of the application materials are available on the G Drive. If you would scan to the site plan page. There we go, right there. So this is the Old Town Dump Lot site on Tile Laurel in South Main. So this is how they would like to propose breaking up. It is currently all zoned RC, which was just a movement over from our old historic residential. It got a new name and some new rules. So David Gilman is here to answer any questions you might have. You're looking at lots 1 through 8. They are larger than 10,000 square feet, which is the minimum, or excuse me, the maximum lot size for the RC district. Lot 9 and 10 do not fall into that. They are within zoning code. One's 9,900 and the other one is 10,000. And then the secondary part of this variance is the frontage for lot 11. They are planning on going through rezoning that to SF2. The lots south of that are all very large. They don't fit into the RC district. Currently, the lots below his lot right now are all zoned either SF1 or SF2 because they're very large single-family lots. So his plan is to kind of cut it right there where Laurel curves. But lot 11 there has a very tricky point of ingress, and the SF2 is 60 feet minimum width. RC is 50, so it's not that much of a difference. But there's not a lot of room to work with in that corner. So the second page has their rendered site plan, like from a Google image type of thing, if that helps you see it better. But any questions, if you want to approach, you are welcome to.
Yeah, come on up.
For the record, my name is David Gilman. My office is at 211 South Ritter Avenue, Suite H, Indianapolis, Indiana, 46219. I do represent Kyle Smith, the owner. Kyle's bought the property in 2020 with the intention of developing some type of subdivision layout. He's worked closely with Kyla during that time. In the interim, from the time that Kyle bought the property, the UDO was updated in, I think, fall of 2021, and he was made aware of the fact that it would go to a RC zoning class, and then he brought me on board earlier this year, or I'm sorry, last fall, and we evaluated the RC, met with both Hannah and Kyla to come up with a plan that we think meets the spirit of the new ordinance, does a nice job being sensitive to the already platted lots all around us on the 3 sides, and at the same time allows Kyle to have a diversity of housing types for his successful sales to some of the people that have already expressed a strong interest in it. If you could you go back to the colored site plan? Thank you. So, as Hannah mentioned, this entire site was sort of brought in with the adoption of the new UDO as all RC. My client didn't ask for that zoning, but that's naturally what it transitioned into. And as we were laying out the various lots, we wanted to keep the lot width as narrow as we could to be sensitive to the traditional homes that are already platted in the area surrounding us on Tile, Laurel, and on Main Street. But the only challenge we have is these lots are about 176 feet deep. So it was really difficult for us to try to maintain all the lots under 10,000 square feet. And so We're not over that far. We're from 10,000. Well, we have a couple that comply, but most of them are within 10%, 10,100, 10,300. But the two corner lots are around 11 or 12,000. If you look at the adjacent lots across on Main Street, those are in the 11, 12,000 range. And then you look at some on Laurel, and they vary between 8,800 and 11,000, a little over 10,000. So we feel that we did a good job of integrating an undeveloped piece of property that when we're done, we think it'll have the feel as if it were developed with the rest of the homes that the town has developed or seen developed over the years. Now, when we go from the blue to the yellow, there's a very natural topography transition. You have the Pendleton ditch. So lots 11 and 12 fall down into the ditch, and then lots 13, 14, and 15 are on the opposite side. So they're really two different feels. The yellow feels more estate and country because you do get further south on Main where you don't have as many of the urban traditional lots. So it gives Kyle an opportunity. He's built his house. He's got a large house on lot 13, and it does lend itself, the entire property lends itself to two different types of products, more of an estate to the south, more hilly, and then to the more traditional that actually has a budding traditional on three sides. The houses in the blue will probably average about 350,000. They'll be 2,200 to 2,500 square feet each. And then obviously the houses in yellow will be in excess of 400,000 on more of the estate, larger lots. So what we're asking the board tonight is to allow us to exceed the maximum lot size for the blue, and our findings of facts talk about the lots that are long and narrow, the fact that our houses are a little bit wider because we do have attached garages, are a little bit wider than a traditional lot that would have a detached or some type of garage on the alley, which obviously we don't have. So we're hoping that the board will see that we've done a good job mitigating the need and minimizing the request of the ask, just to a little over 10,000 square feet, and we'd look for your support, and we'd like to incorporate our findings of fact in our petition so that would be approved as well. The other ask tonight is on lot 11. If you see Laurel Street where it's paved, that's a 50-foot full right-of-way. But after Laurel Street, it terminates and heads due west. That green strip that goes past our yellow, that's a 25-foot platted half right-of-way. So we have access to Laurel right at the corner, but it's only because it's a platted right-of-way that hasn't been ever paved or improved. It looks like if the lot owner, there's a larger lot to the west, if that were to ever be developed, then Laurel Street logically could be extended, and that property would then have its frontage, which would allow us to meet the standard. But in the interim, we have to transition 25 feet of platted right-of-way to get to the full 50 foot of paved right-of-way. Because we're asking that property be zoned next month by the Plan Commission, we will be asking for SF2. We're hoping the board would grant us a variance that this is an unusual condition or unique to lot 11 in this property, that it's not typical of other properties in the area. And that's the basis for our ask for a second variance from this board tonight. And again, we'd incorporate our findings of facts that I provided for that specific ask on lot 11 as part of our filing. And then in conclusion, I have received one phone call from a property owner on the opposite side of Tile. There are two inlets on Tile, and that property owner expressed a concern that there's a low spot where those inlets are, and I guess in a heavy rain or that either the inlets can't take the water, but there is some type of flooding, and he wanted to make sure that we weren't going to make that problem any worse. I explained that we would come tonight for variance for the lot size and the frontage. We would be before the Plan Commission for a rezone on the southern half, and then we would come back before the Plan Commission for a subdivision plat approval. That process requires us to submit detailed construction plans for drainage, sanitary, storm, erosion control, and grading. And I said at that time, we will have a design that will accommodate any water that comes onto our property, any existing tile that we have onto our property, and any additional water that we create by the rooftops and the impervious surface that we create. All of that will be taken into consideration and designed. And at that time, I would be in a better position to specifically give him some drawings and plans that demonstrate how off-site water that comes onto us, that we have to accommodate it by ordinance. And that's something that we committed, and his name was Tim Kaufman. And I told him that I would make sure that I represented him. I think he was in Florida and wasn't able to come up here. But I did tell him I would share his concerns with the board. Other than that, I haven't received any other calls. We sent out about 45 certified letters. I sent this site plan, a cover letter explaining what the notice, sometimes the notice doesn't give you a lot of information. It just says there's a public hearing to be held. So I try to be as transparent as possible with all of our neighbors because obviously Kyle wants to be a good neighbor. He wants his development to be successful. We do have plans to do a perimeter sidewalk throughout the entire block. That's quite a bit of sidewalk that Kyle's committing to. It's even going all the way down Main Street past the yellow. We are working with Hannah to do street trees, Indiana native species street trees between the sidewalk and the pavement. So we want to bring in that neighborhood, traditional neighborhood feel so that there's a nice transition from when you come down Main Street South, that you see the new development, but it's not so urban or suburban looking. It's got a little bit of both, but I think it'll be a development that we're all going to be very happy to see, and I think it's going to be very nice looking. With that, I'd answer questions that board members, Hannah, or members of the audience, neighbors would have of me.
Okay, yeah, any questions for the petitioner?
I have a question for Hannah regarding street cuts. With all those extra homes now on Main Street. Is that something that, I know we've updated our UDOs.
Yeah.
And we've been cautious on how many cuts go in.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm familiar with the area. However, being residential, we've also talked about trying to have back access garages, and with these being long lots, has that been a thought in the office when planning this to, you know, if you had an alley going through there and the back garages to be more like the historic district that it's going into?
And, you know, I definitely agree with that. I think that that's something that came up before that we had presented, that would be of the fitting of the area. I'm not sure if there's issues with the drainage back there that would maybe cause a different type of design. But the rear loading garages was something I know Kayla had discussed, and this is something I'm coming in on kind of the back half of. I know that Kayla had been in communication with Kyle even before our new UDO went into place. So that has been discussed, and they are aware of the amount of space that is needed between possible driveway cuts. But this is
But that,
yeah.
that the Main Street side, not so much the
Right.
Laurel,
On Laurel.
but because of the traffic.
So this will be developed as an RC subdivision and not a, because I mean, right in the definition, it says the design shall incorporate smaller lots, use a gridded street and alley system.
Yeah.
Right.
So as
It
an
does say
RC,
alleys.
so RC zoning calls for alleys, so
Yeah.
that would be my comment as well. And as far as the split between RC and SF, an RC, a residential core subdivision is not permitted in SF2 by ordinance, and so a minor residential subdivision can only have 3 or fewer lots.
Okay.
So you've got an RC, and then you would have a major subdivision to the south, which has its own set of requirements. So has there been a thought to just leave it all as an RC subdivision? I mean,
Well, obviously, Kyle's got his house on lot 13, which is a substantial house in a large lot, but the topography really doesn't lend itself that well. The property's just wide. So when we looked at trying to even achieve RC lots on the yellow, and they're just so deep that to be maximum of 10,000, they'd have to be like 40 feet, 30 feet wide, and 220 feet deep. And it just didn't feel right. And it just made more sense to work with the land, with its topography, and the larger estate lots at a certain cutoff, because when you get past where I start the yellow and you go south on Main Street, the lots are larger than they are up around Laurel and Tile in northern part of Maine where our blue is. But yeah, it's so wide in the yellow, the RC just doesn't make sense for that property.
so are you planning detention?
Well, obviously, we're gonna have to do our drainage calcs, but we have, obviously a substantial drainage outlet, Pendleton Ditch. We can only release it so fast, so it's a matter of how much runoff we get, but with the limited number of rooftops in the big back open yards, I doubt if we're gonna have a lot of detention. We may have some type of swell that goes, where the hatched area is. There may be some type of forebay around lot 11 and 12, just to have a place for it to capture. But we really haven't planned on a detention pond. We think that we have enough land and impervious surface area that we could easily accommodate the drainage.
Okay.
And the only other thing, and I do understand the detached garages, the rear alley loads, but these lots are still 176 feet deep, and to have a detached garage 50 to 75 feet minimum from your house, it's not going to be attractive to everyone. A certain buyer likes the alley loaded and likes the detached garages and the backyard that separates your garage from your house, but that's not for everybody. I did express to Kyla, if we had obviously lots that were infill lots, that was the pattern, then certainly that made sense. But in this instance, it's just, it would limit the buyers and his ability to have a diverse building product. If we had a larger piece of land, then yes, I think that could be a piece of a community. But in this instance, the way this property is laid out, we felt that this was the best match to get the homes that Kyle has buyers for, and still be sensitive to the developed area.
So I guess as far as tonight, all we're the layout and everything really doesn't matter tonight.
No.
It's just the lots that are slightly larger than the minimum and the 25 foot for lot 11
Correct.
is all we're really considering.
Yeah. 'cause
The layout, the alley load, all that, the plan commission's gonna have to deal with that.
Yeah, we'll be back
So-
twice before the plan commission.
So I think for tonight, I guess we focus our discussion on those two pieces of what they're asking for.
Yep,
And if there's additional things that need to change, then they'll just have to come back, so.
I agree.
Correct.
Jamila or
James.
James? I don't know that he's on.
I'm on.
Oh, okay. Is there any questions from you two or any discussion before we consider a motion?
I mean, if we do approve the upsized lots, and they are it's a small upsize, I realize that, but does that lock us into, later on when the argument comes down that we don't want to have the houses laid out this way. There's no alley. There's a lot of traffic on Main Street. We don't want driveway cuts on Main Street. Does this lock us into any, decision where they could argue that we decided that it was okay to have the lots laid out like this, or is it just because if they're not laid out like this, they could be larger. It'll be like lot 11 and lot 12 and lot 13 are larger, seems to me. I'm just wondering what if this locks us into any course of action.
We're just making a decision on approving that zone, and the larger, all those other things would be the plan commission.
Yeah. It would be site development to
Yes.
primary plat.
I mean, I think what we're entertaining is permitting a maximum lot size, as depicted, 12,900
Yeah.
square foot
Yeah.
for that RC zone.
So is this something that the Board of Zoning Appeals can wait for the Planning Committee and all the other agencies to rule on?
This would typically be the first step in getting this ball rolling, would be like any sort of variances and then possible rezoning if need be, which this happens to need in the southern section, before it goes before site development and then yet again the planning commission. So typically this would be step number one.
Okay, that's all the questions I had. Thanks.
Thank you.
What are the widths of the lots generally? Can you zoom in, or maybe it's on?
Let's see, it looks about 60.
And the minimum's 50.
It is. Mm-hmm.
So I mean, just based on the unique shape, you're sandwiched in between two existing streets. You split it, you make a 60-foot wide lot, and that's what you get. So I think it makes sense, to have a slightly larger than the maximum.
And we did dedicate an additional 5 foot of right of way on all 3 street frontages just to even further take our lot size down closer to that 10,000. And so that will help, hopefully the street department, they can pick up a little extra right of way.
Yeah, and the plan commission will evaluate, based on the thoroughfare plan.
Right.
I think it's 48 foot is required,
Mm-hmm.
so.
Your right of way is always good.
Is there any further discussion?
I have no other
Or-
questions.
Do you have comments from the public?
Yeah, I guess, is there anybody else in attendance who wishes to speak?
Hannah, did we get any other letters? I didn't see
No,
any
I didn't get
earlier, but
anything.
okay.
No, just,
Okay.
David just told me this evening about the caller from Florida about the drainage, but he's correct that would be pretty far down the line.
Yeah.
We're not at that point yet,
Mm-mm.
but it's good to know it's a concern.
So I get, Shanna, I guess there's, related to the findings of fact, we need to address that, is that correct?
You would just need to incorporate them if you make a motion to approve.
Okay.
Shannon, would I have to put in the findings of fact the limit of 12,900 square feet?
Is that on yours?
Yeah, on
That's
mine.
not yours. Yeah, if that's what the board wants, then that would be
Okay.
included in the findings of fact, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
All right, well, I guess, we have the findings of fact, and we have the staff recommendation. Do we have any, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll entertain the motion to approve the larger lot size for the RC. Do we have a second part of that?
The
And the-
lot width
And the lot width. Thank you.
for the proposed SF2 in lot 11.
There, I got to it. And approve lot 11 with the width to be less than the required SF2.
All right, so we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All right, we'll do a roll call.
Okay. James King,
Aye.
Jenny Sisson. Aye. Kyle Icorn,
Aye.
Jamila Zafar,
Aye.
Jerry Burmeister.
Aye.
All right, motion carries.
Thank you very much.
All right, and that's our only order of business.
All right. Meeting adjourned.
Did you go into this?
Yeah, I mean, I don't like her.
Huh?
I mean, that looks, yeah.